Green Bay has the Lambeau Leap. Teddy Bridgewater has the Louisville Leap, and he jumped into the stadium with a blowout win over hapless Florida International. Hey, welcome. We are just outside of Papa John's Cardinals Stadium, where the Cardinals have taken apart what I think may be the worst college football team ever. Welcome to the True Home Value Red and Blue Review. Let's start with Howie here. Howie, was that in fact the worst college football team ever? They got 3 yards rushing, I think, total.
It was terrible. They were extremely bad. I can't think of anybody worse. I mean, I'm thinking back to like really big blowouts. Yeah. I'm thinking like the Eastern Kentucky game, but those are FCS teams. This was an FBS team. These guys are supposed to be on the same level.
True.
It reminds me of the blowout with in the basketball, and that was also FIU and Isaiah Thomas.
Now let's talk to a man that knows bad football.
Thank you.
He's been covering it for long enough. Darryl Byrd of the Catsballs. Was that the worst college football team you've ever seen?
Howie made a good point. That's a D1 school. They're supposed to be better than that. I'll flip it a little bit. It probably was the worst team we've ever seen. I almost feel bad for Louisville fans.
You do? They paid money for that?
They get in there to see that, and coming back week after week going forward, it don't get a whole lot better.
Well, they're going to have back-to-back open dates, obviously, because this hardly counts as a game.
They'll have a tougher game during the open week.
They will. Well, this version of the Red and Blue Review, brought to you by True Home Value, is also sponsored this week by Smart Shoppers. One of the great shoppers from Smart Shoppers just blew past us right here. They can flat trick out your ride. If you can think it, they can do it. Whether it's wheels, you want to do something inside with television monitors and audio, go see the guys in the big orange building, Smart Shoppers, 4200 Produce Road. Okay, let's get into the worst game, the worst team in college football history in our lightning round. This portion of the True Home Value Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, reminding you that one text or call could wreck it all. Well, Louisville continues to use what we could call a three-headed monster when they go to running the football. Those guys had big games against FIU, and Charlie said all three bring something different to the defense.
On first and second down, you're going to see Sonoris and Dyer on first and second, and then on third down you get Dominique. But they also rotate in. You know, if you get a back and he makes a long run, then the next back is going to run in. You know, you're getting a three-headed monster there, and the guys are being able to go run the football. Well, you look at Sonoris; he's an outside runner and he has speed, so he's going to try to outrun you. Whereas Dyer's one guy that can pound you, and he's so he can get behind his pass because he's so low. And he can just run through defenders, and then Dominique is him and Dyer kind of run the same because they're both power runners. But the thing that Dyer has over Dominique is he can bust, he can run when he get out in open field.
Louisville really does have a three-headed monster, and they're different. I mean, Dominic Brown is significantly bigger than the other guys. Sonoris Perry is probably the fastest of the bunch, and I think Michael Dyer is the guy who's probably going to have the longest career of the two because he combines them both. He can bust a long run, but he's also extremely stout, and he can hide behind the line. He's only 5'9". And so I think for the time being, Louisville's just going to continue running three different guys. Check
the stats here real quick. FIU had 43 plays for a total of 30 yards.
Nice.
They had fewer yards than they had plays. Well, coaching and the challenge of the Southeastern Conference is what lures coaches to Kentucky. The lack of success in the SEC is what gets Kentucky football coaches fired.
You know, I'm a defensive guy. This is the SEC. You know, it's a very physical conference, and I realize that. And I want to be tough, and I want to be physical. And, you know, we have to build this foundation with great defense. There's no way around it.
Coaches love to test themselves, Howie. I think that's part of the whole idea is, am I as good as I think I am? I'll go find out when I go to the SEC. I'm going to test to see what I'm made of. And they like players like to come to Kentucky. They like to go to the Alabama sports. They like to play in the SEC. Well, same thing for coaches. If I'm going to test myself, I want to test myself against the very best. This would not be the year to try to measure that. I wouldn't advise it. Talk to some of the coaches during the off week. They're saying, this is a pretty impressive statement. Florida may be the best defense in the league they're going to face. That's pretty impressive.
The True Home Value Red and Blue Review from Papa John's Cardinal Stadium is brought to you by Smart Shoppers.
Here at Smart Shoppers, we are Louisville's largest car audio dealer. Whether you're looking for Rockford, Fosgate, Massive, Pioneer, we have it here at Smart Shoppers, 4200 Produce Road. Now back to you at the Red Blue Review.
Thank you, James. As bad as the Florida International Football Team is, so is Louisville's new football conference, the American Conference, which Darryl said the logo looked like an insurance company.
It does.
They have not shown themselves very well this season at all.
Now, when you look at phase two, it's where your conference is going to start, because you're going to go Temple, Rutgers, Central Florida, South Florida. So now it's a whole different mindset. With now we're getting in a conference game, what games that count. But Central Florida going to beat Penn State was a good win for this conference, and Rutgers is always going to play well. But you look at this conference, South Florida right now, they're struggling, but still though it's really some good teams still in Cincinnati, even though they lost their quarterback, ended up playing well this week. So the conference is going to be fine, and we just need to continue to play well.
Yeah, I think Louisville is the hope of the conference. I think that UCF is a good team. I think Rutgers is a good team. I think Cincinnati's a good team. But really, there's only one special team. The rest of the teams in there, the other 5 teams, are pretty bad. Yeah. And in fact, the bottom 4 at one point were 0 for 10 so far this season, and they had 10 losses. The whole SEC, all added together, all 14 teams had 11 losses.
Aren't you just holding your nose for 1 year, though?
Yeah, I mean,
the team
that's
and
really
the
what
players,
you're doing.
they're just holding their noses, get through this and get on with it.
Well, the Kentucky football team has to bring a new approach to playing in the SEC if they want to have some different results, but teaching new approach to new and old players can be tough for Mark Stoops and his staff.
It kind of gets into that same mentality of here it's like, okay, you got to teach them the basics and then, be able to build on your package, and that's always the fine line, I think, early on at a program. How much can they take in, how fast, and how well can you execute it? Well, again, we could design hundreds of things. You just got to be able to go play, so that's where the fine line comes in.
Okay, Gary and Howie, you want to coach in the SEC? Go play Florida, South Carolina, and Alabama in consecutive weeks. And by the way, you may only be able to teach your players the basics of what they're trying to do, because they may not be able to handle all you want to give them.
That should work out fine.
All you need, all you need to give them to have a shot, a prayer of beating one of these teams or hanging with them, and that's just the tough case they're in this year.
When is the right time to pull your star player out of a blowout? We'll see if Howie and Darryl see eye to eye on that. But first, Darryl's going to tell us about the Cat's Paws.
I do appreciate it. Talking a little basketball later on in the show, and the basketball yearbook will be on the way to the printer very soon. Should be arriving to our office early October. If you want to pre-order, we would appreciate it. You can just visit our new website for that, catspawsyearbook.com.
Hi, Tim Fritz here for Tim Fritz Superstores Elizabethtown. We're hanging steel and we're making deals. We also have over 130 cars at our Radcliffe and our Fort Knox locations. Hey Brian, tell them about the Hot 100.
That's right, Tim. We have over 100 vehicles in stock priced at $250 per month or less, all ready for immediate delivery.
Stop by here in Elizabethtown and see us, or stop by Radcliffe or our Fort Knox locations. You can go online at 765auto.com or just give us a call at 765auto, because we've got an auto for you.
This is Chris with Boom Buyers Westport Village. Want to invite you out to check out one of our best-selling appetizers. This is the pretzel bread with our homemade beer cheese. Come out to Boom Buyers Westport Village today.
What's your idea of fun? Whatever your idea of fun is, we have a park for that. Kentucky State Parks.
Hi, I'm Teresa Bachman. There's never been a better time to buy a new Volkswagen from Bachman Volkswagen. For great savings on every Jetta, Passat, and Bachman's huge selection, come in today. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months, or up to $3,500 off a Bachman New Beetle convertible. Bachman Volkswagen has a huge selection, low prices, and we pay top dollar for your trade. We'll even match your down payment up to $500. Online at BachmanVolkswagen.com. Bachman makes the difference.
To save more lives this summer, we've stepped up highway law enforcement. So, don't forget to buckle up, don't speed, and don't drive while impaired or distracted. Because this summer, we're going to have Kentucky completely covered. Blue lights across the bluegrass.
No excuses, no exceptions.
Here at Smart Shoppers, we have all major brand tires from Michelin, Bridgestone, Firestone. Come see me for all your tire needs at 4200 Produce Lane. Now back to you at the Red and Blue Review.
Thank you, Chad. Seeing Eye to Eye is brought to you by the Eye Care Institute of Louisville, and today's topic is pulling Teddy. Teddy Bridgewater stayed on the field long after the game was decided. In fact, when he checked out, it was the third period. Louisville was leading this deal 58-0. I asked Coach Strong afterwards what he needs to see on the field to decide when it's time to pull his star quarterback.
I always say that, you know, when the game's out of hand, you let them play a little to the third quarter, then get them out and get it, because you know what, the other team is not going to come back. So enough is enough, and I tell him all the time, you know, you can get your individual throws and individual performance, but still, though, we're going to respect this game and respect the other team also.
I think Charlie was in a tough spot today, frankly, because he wants to respect the opponent, all that kind of thing, but they're so much better than FIU that at what point do you pull? My personal opinion, you want to get them to start the second half typically. You want to keep that rhythm going. But once you run back that 93-yard kickoff return, you just turn around to your quarterback and say, go sit back down. We're done.
To me, and I caught myself saying, why is he even in there? And I thought, okay, I know why he's in there. He's in there because they have an off week, a bye week. Teddy's not going to see the field again for 2 weeks. You don't want to lose the crispness that you're going to need. A lot of Christmas to make it through this league. They're playing it for crying out loud. But he does need game action. And if nothing else, hey, may have shored up that old Heisman argument we had last week. That didn't hurt.
Well, I think one of the things you look at when you talk about this is the concern of injury. And there was one time Teddy got rolled a little bit, and you could hear a gasp go through the crowd. And that's the thing you're trying to balance.
And you know, the question is, do you pull a quarterback in the first half? I mean, most coaches would say absolutely not. You never do that. But if you're up 38-0 in the first half, 30-0, whatever. I mean, you might consider it. Against a team that bad, you might consider it.
Yeah, the argument on that is, yes, you do that because should, heaven forbid, Teddy does get hurt at some point in the year, you're going to need that seldom used backup to have some reps.
Right.
And maybe he could have played 3/4 of this game today just to get his own rhythm going, get a feel for it.
Seeing Eye to Eye here on the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Eye Care Institute of Louisville. The Eye Care Institute is going to be having a very special event on October 15th. That's a Tuesday night at 6. Everyone's going to get a chance to learn about laser vision correction surgery. My surgeon, Dr. John Meyer, will be there, and one person in attendance will win free LASIK. Get more information by calling the number on your screen, 855-589-1500. 855-589-1500. Someone's going to win free LASIK surgery from John Meyer and the Eye Care Institute. We come back, we'll tell you which Louisville play is unstoppable. As we head to the break, Howie's going to tell us about CardinalSports.com.
Absolutely. We just left the locker rooms over there, and you're going to want to hear what Charlie Strong, Teddy Bridgewater, Michael Lee Harris, Devontae Parker had to say after this game. We'll have those videos posted on CardinalSports.com, and you need to check those out.
This is Chris with Boom Boss Pizza, Westport Village, inviting you out to try one of our best-selling pizzas. This is the traditional buffalo chicken pizza served on a gluten-free crust. Come out to Boom Boss Pizza today and give it a try.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
You name it, if you can dream it, these guys can do it. It's the big orange building right off of Produce Road, 4200 Produce Road. It's called Smart Shoppers. Drop by and see what these guys can help you do. Your ride down the road will look better than anybody else's if your ride stops here at Smart Shoppers.
Hi, this is Chad with Smart Shoppers. Whether you're trying to put wheels and tires on your everyday ride or you're trying to hook up your custom vehicle, come see me at 4200 Produce Road.
Here are today's headlines for May 9th, 1953. Dark Star upsets native dancer at the Kentucky Derby. The new Chevy Corvette rolls off the assembly line. And Bob Hook Chevrolet opens his doors right here in Louisville.
Hard to believe that was 60 years ago.
And you can't stay in business that long without doing things the right way.
With a great product like Chevy and unparalleled customer service, it's no wonder we've been here
for 60 years, 3 generations and 1 tradition.
So look to Hook, because Bob Hook's got it.
Here at Smart Shoppers, not only are we the largest car audio dealer in Louisville, we can get you together with alarms, remote starts, radar detectors, GPSs, and get it all together for you here, 4200 Produce Road. Now back to you at the Red Blue Review.
Thank you, James. The Red and Blue Review crew coming to you from just outside Papa John's Cardinal Stadium after the Cards polished off a 72-0 win over Florida International. Time now to jump into our game time storylines. Kentucky's basketball team has got to improve the defensive effort they had from last year, and one of the guys who may help get that fixed is 6'6" freshman Aaron Harrison.
Aaron Harrison, big guard, can score the ball, should be and will be and is expected to be and will be demanded to be a lockdown defender. With his size, with his athleticism, you know, one, we can play a big zone. Two, we should be able to press because we're going to be so big with our guard play and whoever we put up there. But it'll start with Aaron. We know what he can do scoring the ball, but we want him to do other things and, again, help define his game.
That is classic coach speak. We know he can score. Aaron knows he can score. He can fill it flat, fill it up. You ask Aaron what's one of his little weaknesses maybe, say, off-ball defense maybe. The kid can play defense. No high school kid plays defense the way college coaches want them to play defense, and frankly at 6'6" need him to play defense. I think what Cal's hoping for, what fans can hope for on this kid, is a DeAndre Liggins type defender, but a great shooter. Because DeAndre was a great athlete who could guard you but couldn't shoot that well. This kid appears to be able to do both. Could be your leading scorer and your best defender. That would be a pretty nice package.
Charlie Strong was asked after his team's 72-0 win over Florida International if he was trying to play for perfection, and he said he was. And he was talking about the team's execution during the game, but obviously we as media and the fans want to see them perfect at the end of the season.
Well, I don't know if our goals, you know, we have goals. I don't think I've ever told them we want to go 12-0 now. But I think that's what everyone else thinking we're going to go because of our schedule. But it's all about this each game. That's all it's about, just each game. You go on and play each game.
And I think that's really the question for Louisville at the start of the season. It's the question now. It's the question at the end of the season. Did you go 12-0 against that schedule? And I think this is a one-year deal where essentially Louisville's judged by winning every game. Next year they'll be judged by their competition and how they did against this team or that team or whatever. This year it's all about 12-0, and there's no escaping it. It's interesting to me, though, that Charlie Strong said, you know, I haven't really talked to my team about going 12. Come on now, Coach. No way they haven't talked about not going, you know, going undefeated.
Now, Darryl, you're going to love this. In the post-game press conference, Charlie Strong said that he got after his team in walkthroughs.
Right.
I've never heard of that before, but he said they weren't sharp in walkthroughs, so he stopped to start over. Look, when your team has the kind of competition that you're jumping on them in walkthroughs, that says a whole lot about who you're playing and really and the expectations you should have for your team.
Well, and he got after him, I think it was 2 years ago, got after him in walkthroughs, and he said they had a bunch of fake juice.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd ever heard that term before, so we maybe had a little fake juice.
Yeah, the problem today was the walkthrough provided a more competition than the team did. That's the problem.
Well, True Home Value would love for you to be as big of a winner as the Cardinals were against Florida International, and here's how you do it. You go to their telephone number, 1-800-476-1966, or 2 ways to their website, thv.com or truehomevalue.com. Once you register, you'll be eligible at the end of this month to win $25,000. That's $15,000 in home improvements and $10,000 to spend any way you want. The giveaway is coming up, so you need to get after it. 1-800-476-1966. This portion of the True Home Value Red and Blue Review is brought to you by Smart Shoppers, and if Aaron Harrison can tighten down the defense, maybe his twin brother can inspire the offense.
Andrew Harrison, my hope is by the end of the year, he's just like some of the other point guards we've had. You look at him and say, hey, he can do things that other point guards can't do at his size, his scoring ability, and both of them are terrific drivers, which kind of tells you that we're going to go back to a lot more dribble drive. I've talked to a couple of my friends. We're talking about dribble drive into pick and roll into dribble drive because of the team.
I say it's funny. I'm just sitting here listening to the voices of Calipari and Mark Stoops echoing across the parking lot at Papa John's. That's kind of a neat thing going on there. Something a little freaky. I cut both these sound bites without even knowing it. They were both 32 seconds on identical twins.
Nice.
How cool is that?
Very nice.
This guy is a terrific point guard. We don't know yet. It's too early to know. Is he going to be like John Wall? Is he going to be like somebody? We just know he won't be like the ones they had last year. This guy can play.
Now, Darryl, I know you've had a chance to talk with these kids. Give me your sense of, will they be overwhelmed by the the Kentucky aura like Alex was last year? Clearly, Alex was a little over his head, maybe not physically, but emotionally and as far as his maturity. What about these guys?
No. That's not going to be a problem. Julius Randle will make sure of that. They go through so much, it's not an issue. These twins have pushed each other from day one. That's not going to be an issue. Alex's problem is he's a little timid, a little quiet, Clarksville, Tennessee, kind of laid back. And then the team has nobody to stand up and lead them, so that really put him in a bad position.
You know, it's not too often you can talk to a coach and ask him if he has an unstoppable play, but Charlie Strong says Louisville has it. Anytime Teddy is throwing to the corner of the end zone and number 9 is going up and after it, he says Devontae Parker cannot be stopped.
Because, I just think this because he's vertical. He can jump because he's going to go up over you. And then it's amazing to watch his vertical leap. He does that to us every day at practice. So I just say, hey, we're getting the red zone, just throw it up there. Give him enough room, and he's going to come down with it.
Coach, in the past you said...
We have a lot of confidence in the entire receiver unit, but we know Devontae, he's a special athlete, and he's just someone that we've grown to trust down there. And if you just throw it up, we've come to expect him to come down with the catch. So that the level of trust is just very high right now.
It is absolutely remarkable how effective that play is and how often they go to it. And I think
why not?
Yeah, what Charlie's thinking is, listen, until somebody proves they can stop it, why not continue to go after it? And here you see a case where, Devontae Parker has the presence of mind not only to leap over the defender, but get that 1 foot down before he goes back down. And he came back over to the sideline and he's like, Coach, I was in. They reviewed it, and of course it was a touchdown. And really, you see who Teddy Bridgewater is looking for here when he scrambles. Devontae Parker just steps back and catches that another touchdown pass. At one point, I think he's still on pace. Every 3.5 times he touches the ball, he gets a touchdown.
Last week, the Red and Blue Review came to you from Smart Shoppers. This week's show here at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium is brought to you by Smart Shoppers, and we would love to come to your business or special event. Just hit me up at gupton@redandbluereview.net. I'll tell you how we can bring red and blue to where you are.